Long before Mufasa became the revered king of the Pride Lands, before his golden mane symbolized strength and wisdom, he faced a trial, one forgotten by time. A trial that would determine whether he was truly destined to rule. This was not a battle against Scar, not a test set by the circle of life. This was a challenge unlike any before. The season of drought had come with an unforgiving force. The once green Pride Lands had withered under the relentless sun. The rivers that once nourished the herds had dried to nothing but cracked earth. The grasslands lay barren, and the prey that roamed the savannah had either fled or starved. Whispers of worry spread among the lionesses. They had seen hard times before, but never like this. Even the mighty Ahadi, king of the Pride Lands and father to Mufasa and Scar, could not hide his concern. One evening, as the setting sun cast a golden hue over the dying land, a scout returned with troubling news. "Lions," she panted, "at the border." Ahadi's gaze darkened. "What lions?" "Rogues," the scout replied, "a large group. They're waiting for you." Ahadi, though aged, remained strong. He gathered his sons, Mufasa, proud and noble, and Taka, the younger son who would later be known as Scar. Together, along with the strongest lionesses, they made their way to the borders. There, standing tall against the horizon, was a band of exiled lions. Their leader, a massive lion with dark, matted fur and jagged scars across his face, stepped forward. His piercing amber eyes locked onto Ahadi's with a glint of something dangerous. "King Ahadi," the rogue rumbled, his voice deep as thunder. "I bring you an offer." Ahadi's expression remained unreadable. "I do not make deals with exiles," the rogue chuckled. "This is not a deal. It is an opportunity to prove your kingdom is worthy of surviving." The lionesses shifted uneasily, but Mufasa held his ground. Scar, beside him, scoffed under his breath. The rogue took another step forward. "Your lands are dying, your pride is starving, we all know it. But strength determines who rules, and I see no strength here." His sharp gaze fell upon Mufasa, "Unless your so-called heir is willing to prove otherwise." A murmur ran through the pride. Mufasa tensed, but he did not step back. Ahadi narrowed his eyes. "And what exactly do you propose?" "A challenge," the rogue declared. "One of strength, endurance, and wisdom. If your heir proves himself, we will leave. If he fails, the Pride Lands fall under my rule." The air grew heavy. The lionesses exchanged glances, uneasy. This was not just a fight. It was a battle for the future of the Pride Lands. Hadi turned to Mufasa. His golden eyes were unreadable, but Mufasa could see it. The test of a true king. Scar, watching from the side, smirked. "Why play by their rules?" he muttered. "Father, let me—" "No," Ahadi interrupted. "This is Mufasa's fight." Mufasa stepped forward, his deep voice calm yet firm. "I accept your challenge." The rogue grinned. "Then let the trial begin." The lion the rogue had chosen to fight was no ordinary warrior. He was older than Mufasa, battle-hardened with deep scars etched across his tawny coat. His muscles rippled as he stepped forward, eyes burning with the confidence of a lion who had never lost. The pride formed a wide circle around them. Scar stood at the edge, watching closely, his tail twitching. Mufasa knew he was strong. He had trained for years under Ahadi's guidance. But this was different. This was a fight not just for himself, but for the kingdom, for the pride, for everything he was meant to protect. The rogue warrior lunged first. Mufasa barely dodged his claws, slashed through the dust where he had stood. He countered with a powerful strike, but his opponent was fast. They circled each other, muscles tense, waiting for the next move. Then the rogue feinted left, but attacked from the right. Mufasa roared in pain as claws raked his shoulder. He stumbled, blood trickling down his golden fur. Gasps echoed from the watching pride. Scar smirked. "And they call him the future king?" he muttered under his breath. But Mufasa did not fall. He rose, shaking the dust from his mane. His heart pounded, but he forced himself to remain calm. A king does not fight with anger. He fights with purpose. This time, he did not strike first. He waited, watching, analyzing. The rogue was stronger, but he was reckless. He fought to win, not to lead. And that was his weakness. The rogue attacked again, but Mufasa was ready. He sidestepped, using his opponent's own weight against him. As the rogue stumbled, Mufasa seized his chance. He struck with all his strength, his massive paw slamming into the rogue's jaw. The rogue staggered. Mufasa did not let up. With a final, powerful leap, he pinned the rogue to the ground, teeth bared. The rogue struggled, but Mufasa held firm. A deep silence fell over the Pride Lands. Then, Mufasa did something no one expected. He stepped back. The rogue, panting, glared up at him. Why don't you finish it?" Mufasa's gaze was steady. "Because a true king does not kill for power," he said. "He protects." The rogue leader, watching from the sidelines, let out a low chuckle. He nodded in reluctant respect. "Perhaps you are stronger than I thought." And with that, the rogues turned and left. As the sun set over the Pride Lands, Mufasa stood before his pride, bloodied but unbroken. A haughty approached, his golden eyes filled with pride. "You did not win because you were the strongest," he said. "You won because you fought for something greater than yourself." Scar stood in the shadows, eyes narrowed, tail flicking. His brother had won today. But what about tomorrow? For Mufasa, this was not just a victory. It was the moment he became a king. And so, with the sun setting over the Pride Lands, Mufasa stood victorious, not just as a warrior, but as a true king. His trial had tested more than his strength. It had proven his heart, his wisdom, and his unshakable sense of duty. The Pride Lands would remember this day not for the battle fought, but for the leader it had forged. But this is just one untold story of the Lion King universe. What other hidden tales might be waiting to be discovered? Let us know in the comments, what Lion King stories would you like to see next? Maybe the secret past of the Outlanders or the rise of the great kings of the past? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more epic Lion King tales. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and remember, a king's true strength lies not in his power, but in his heart.